Yeah, someone just posted the vestibular system on the chat here, a live stream. But the vestibular system doesn't detect motion. That was something I was taught growing up, that it detects motion. It doesn't. It detects acceleration. Big difference. And we are able to detect acceleration pretty easily. We're not very good at detecting velocity. All we can do with velocity is measure that relative motion with respect to something else.
Oh, yeah.
Well then, doofus Danny, the dipshit astronomer, since the Earth in your ball-tard spinning space monkey religion is rotating, hence has an angular velocity, ergo the Earth is constantly accelerating, and
we are able to detect acceleration pretty easily.
Can you please explain to us why we can't detect it easily? Por favor?
You are so dumb. Damn.
Oh, and we're off. What's up out there, guys? Thanks for coming. As usual, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. I'd like to give you another warning. If the stream suddenly goes off, that means my computer bit the dust. I'm going to overload her a little bit today and test her out. Last week, we did just that trial run. She passed, but going to put a bit of a load on her today and see how she reacts. So, again, if I go, I'm not coming back until she's fixed. So, let's see what we got in Discord. We have the beautiful Betty Van Velsen, and all I want to know is, why?
I'm here because, as usual, you announce me, and I'm there.
Why?
Who knows?
You're in trouble.
I know. Because I gave the way out.
You started it too.
We were talking about that, right? That we were the Y kids.
You started it and I reversed it on you.
Yeah, I know.
Because I was the initial interlocutor. So I
Well, I could say, why do you ask?
Hey, thanks, Fiber Oats. Oh, I don't want to take Betty's job. Go ahead.
What?
We got a super chat.
Already?
Yeah.
Show chat. Ooh, Fiber Oats. Okay. He says, wide open throttle.
That's all we know. There isn't any other way. Thanks, Fiber Oats. Appreciate it, man.
Why?
Yeah, I was going to say that, but I figured I'd let it go. But I shouldn't even brought it up. I was just, I anticipated you doing it again.
I wasn't even on it. I would never do that to you.
Yeah, that's right. Any little show of weakness, any little splinter, that's what friends take advantage of.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, we got another super chat.
Do we?
Nick Whiteman, and he says, "Great to see you guys back. Have you all checked out Made by Jim Bob's stream yet?"
Jim Bob? No, I have not. But I remember him talking about it. I have not.
Oh,
it's just too much stuff. It's not that we blew you off on purpose. Just too many things, man.
Oh, the time is short and there's not enough hours in the day.
I know. Don't you find that happening all the time? That's what I find, and especially when I sleep half the day away.
That could be a problem.
It is. I'm in a bad rut again. I got to jump out of that. I think I'm going to start tonight. I'm gonna.
Tonight. You wake up tonight and not go to bed.
No, I can't do that. No, that ain't gonna work. No. That's put a monkey wrench in the whole works. I have my ways. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, but I need to start waking up. I need to start waking the chickens up, and I'm not doing that now.
You need to change.
I need to what?
Why do you do that? Well, don't wake the chickens.
I'm in this go to bed at 2:00 now. It was even later last night. It was like 2:15. I said, why do I do this?
Well,
So-
that's in my early mornings. You could wake me.
Exactly. So
Is that
I got
what
it.
you mean by the chickens, by the way?
Say again?
Is that what you mean, waking the chickens?
Yeah. Yeah. Waking the mother cluckers.
The chicken show. And you need to wake the rooster, not the chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a thing. Yeah, maybe more night owls. I think most people are like early risers. They are like up with the chickens.
Yep.
And I'm not. I love the time between 12 and 2 in the evenings, in the nights, because it's a time they can think.
Yep.
Right? No, everybody's asleep. Nobody's there. And you can't do like the hard work in the house, so you have no excuse but just to be quiet and just sit around.
I agree. It's
Yeah.
hard for me, especially when I jump on the show, Nathan's show in the morning. Usually I just woke up. And then I like it when it's slow. The show's a little slow, but when I jump in there and they're on the CMB and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to comment on this. I don't know. I don't even know what my name is right now.
You're getting old, man. Getting old.
I know that. I got you.
Yeah. Remember the times that you could just be late and just wake up early, even though you didn't want to, but you could.
Yeah.
Right? And just be there, like,
Yeah.
and crack jokes even in the mornings.
Yeah. Not even think about it.
Yeah.
It was nothing. It was nothing you even thought about. Yeah. I remember that. Get 4 hours of sleep and I'm up. Good to go.
Yeah.
Where's the pizza?
And now, right, when you wake up, it's like, luckily there's nobody around here, right, in my mornings, but oh, good Lord, for people that would be,
Yeah.
they're in for a big surprise with the eyes and shut up.
Yeah. Well, and then they say, Kiwi, why are you so grumpy?
You sound different in the morning. I mean, your voice is lower. I've heard a couple of times.
Really?
Yes, especially when you're like slow and you don't want to get out. You're like reluctant. It's kind of funny. You call? Did you really do an appeal on my brain this morning? It's not a good thing.
Nope.
Yeah, and when you can fire it up, it's like, well, get out of the way.
So what happened? I'm going to tell you one good thing. It was a couple days ago, right? And I slept. I went to bed at 1:00 and I woke up at 10 in the morning. So I had a straight sleep. I didn't wake. No one woke me up. Straight 9 hours, right? I got up in the morning. I was like, here we go. So I got on the computer and I usually check. I said 10 o'clock. I said, I ain't even going to waste my time trying to track down Nathan's show. Maybe I'll watch or listen to the early show because it was recorded earlier, but I ain't going to, try to chase him down. He's already gone, right? So I'm messing around doing a couple things on email and I pulled up Discord just to check and see if I got any DMs. There's Nathan in there. I said, what in the world? So I jumped on the show and I was sharp, boy, because I got all that, straight sleep. So that's the exception rather than the rule. Usually I'm like, what is my name? Where am I? Right? So I just went, that's what I'm trying to go for nowadays. I need that length of sleep that I'm that sharp when I wake up. That's the goal. That's the summit. That's self-actualization.
9 hours is a little long, though.
It is, but I needed it.
It could be like 8 and still be enough, right?
8, it would be I'm usually a 7 guy, 6.5, 7. 8 is definitely enough, but the 9 just sent me over the edge into nirvana.
Unbelievable.
I'm just telling you the way it is. All right, let's see
I
what.
don't think that I can do it anymore, the niner.
All right.
I've tried. It doesn't work anymore. It's like 6.5 now.
Hey, we got
Yeah.
another super chat. Thanks, guys, man. You guys are rocking. Honey, get super chat.
Yeah, well, you're live again. I mean, if you don't see people anymore, then that's not gonna happen, right?
She's been looking at me sideways recently with no super chats.
Well, you weren't working.
This is, yeah.
Oh, this one is from Sasha Unitox Fable. He says, didn't start well. ... Sleep instead food.
Yeah, this is a sleep discussion first until we get. I don't even know who's in here. Hold on a second. I've been shirking my responsibilities. We got Sasha.
already?
We got Matthews. Where's Adam?
Sleeping late. He's playing the niner, I think.
He's going with the. What'd you say? He's going with the niner.
He's trying the niner.
Yep. So we're gonna do gravity. We're not gonna talk about food and all that stuff today. This is a presentation for today. So
Yeah,
we'll do a little small talk.
Where do we go from here?
So, well, I got substance today.
Wow. Substance. Content. It's been a long time.
We're gonna get into that substance here in a bit. You're gonna see. You'll know when I'll say substance and say, "I see. I told you."
Well, if you can get the banana out of your mouth.
The banana. I got a banana right here. That's why I need Adam.
Yeah, Adam is the banana guy.
Yep. I can't do the banana. Or if I have banana or peanut butter, I need Adam in the live stream.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's live. If he's online somewhere. Well, he's online. Yeah. That might be too early for him, right?
Yeah,
Also.
it could be.
I mean,
Yeah, him, Brian. That's all right. I think we're gonna. You want to get into it, or?
yeah, why not? You never know what happens after. So. Yeah. I mean,
All right, let me get situated.
situated.
I am situated, but I just got to get a little more situated.
How can you be more situated?
Situated squared. Yeah. Psh. Don't psh, my psh.
I was the first. Yeah.
Yeah. This is what we got for a show.
Even
Folks. Got another one.
And another one.
No way.
Yeah, 2 at a time. So first, lumpy gas in a vacuum. He says a wolf pup says, THK.
Thanks for teeth.
Oh, thanks for teeth. Oh, wow, yeah. Okay, Unitox Famu says, why are you gonna speak about something never proven?
So people can understand how they're getting hoodwinked. And this is going to be a real carnival tent show. You're going to see it. It's going to come out the gate clowning. And
Well, did you notice that he asked a why question?
Yeah, I did. I thought I'd bypass that.
No, not with me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because like I was saying before, I was rumpus interrupted.
Yeah.
See, I forgot what I was going to say.
So typical.
I didn't. I just said I forgot what I was going to say. I knew what I was going to say, but I had to say I forgot I was going to say so I could remember what I was going to say.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got another super chat.
No way!
Yeah, Nick Whiteman again. He says, buy some wingies on me.
That's one thing good. That's one. $5 ain't going to make it. 40. You like that? $40 for $40.
No way.
I'm telling you, $40 for 18 wingies.
40?
40. Let me confirm that. Give me a moment. You have the con.
That's a lot of money for a couple of wings, right? 40? Did he really say that? Wow. All right. And then they just fly off. Hey, Sasha, did you leave? I unmuted you when you came in first, but thanks for the super chat. Can you speak?
Oh, you're
All
Sasha?
right.
yeah. You're welcome.
Ah,
All right. I'm back.
I can
wait a minute. Sasha is speaking and he's kind of low for me.
I have some bad connection.
What?
He has a
I have
bad
some.
connection.
Oh, bad connection. Sorry. Yeah, well, that's obvious. I couldn't hear you.
All
Maybe
right.
it's better now.
All right. So it's not $40 for 18 wings. It's 45.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Are they set in gold?
I don't know, but I haven't had any wingies in a while. It's just ridiculous.
Well, they killed off a lot of chickens, right? So, in the millions of chickens they killed.
That's funny. I just hooked up the neighbor. I was helping them move a chicken coop. They got chickens over there.
No, well, you need to get acquainted with the guy because he might be having the only chickens left soon. So,
I tell you what, all I have to do is shift about 10 degrees off my target, and it's chicken time.
yeah. And they don't survive an arrow like that. Huh?
yeah, that's too funny. But yeah, thanks for the super chat, guys. Yeah, got your wife's loving it, by the way.
Well, you can live these chickens to get yourself some eggs, right?
Yeah, I'm the egg man. I love eggs. I eat eggs every day.
Yeah. Yeah, well then, there you go. Don't kill the chicken.
See, we're on the food thing again. I want to get off of that.
Yeah, but yeah. You started it with the chickens.
I know. All right. Mike, discipline, because we're getting into this.
Ooh, all right.
All right, we're going to get into this gravity nonsense. And like I said, it's just right out of the gate. It's just going to, I don't want to even say cascade into numpty dipshittery. It's already cascading, right? Just as I got this up on the screen, it's cascading, right? It's going to get stupider as we go. But, I mean, this isn't hyperbole either. The Keystone cops are blushing with this stuff. You're going to see. So let's get into it. We got Newton, right? So usually right off the bat, somebody, gravity. Yeah, I'm usually all into that, trying to figure out what type of gravity that they're talking about. So usually it's 98% is Newton, right? Because they don't want to say general relativity. They ain't going to say that. They don't want to get into any Einstein stuff because they are friggin' clueless, like Einstein was clueless, right? So they're not going to say that. They're forced into Newton. And my first question to them usually is, what's Newton's law? Well, 99% don't give me anything, right? Because I want citation. Just give me the citation of Newton's law. Really simple. It's reasonable. I still don't get it. Now you get the outliers, right, that think they're wise, and they'll give me a citation. Guess what they give me? They give me this, right? See that? The force of gravity equals G M1 M2 over R squared. So they're pretty confident with this, but guess what the problem is? That's not Newton's law. Yeah, it's not. This is. See, this is different than that. There's no big G here. See, that's the level that we start at. See, right off the bat, it starts to be a clown show. Like I said, that's not Newton's equation. This is. So it's force of gravity is proportional. See that? Proportional, not equal. And no big G. This force over gravity in big G is C.V. Charles Vernon Boy's little addition, which was 207 friggin' years after Newton. Number one, Newton's debunked universal law of gravitation. You're going to see that here in a couple seconds. Was published in the Principia July 5th, 1687. That was the equation, the one I just showed you. You see big G in there, pretender clowns. Well, you don't, or you're blind melon chitlins, right? Because it's not there. Then they say, well, Cavendish came up with big G. Wrong. They're still saying, I don't know how many times I got to do this, to expose that nonsensory. But I still got to do it. I still hear it, right? Number 2, Cavendish didn't conduct his non-experiment, which should be known as the Reverend John Michel Cavendish non-experiment. We'll get to that in a second. Until 1798. That's 111 years after the publication of Newton's Principia and 71 years after Newton's death. So you got a big problem there, right? The bigger problem is number 3. Cavendish didn't calculate a numerical value for G. And of course, we have Lauren Hodges here. I can't hit this hyperlink. You know why? Because it was taken away. And it's been a while since it was taken away. But that's okay. I got something for you. Because I anticipated this long time ago, so I screenshotted it. I don't even need the Wayback Machine because I said to myself, self, this is going to disappear. Right? And it most certainly did. So let's take a look at this. Just the red spots. We're not going to deal with the Earth's radius up here, which is a tear-jerking belly laugher. But even Lauren Hodges from the Department of Physics and Astronomy at Iowa State University called it the Michel Cavendish experiment. Really, it's the Reverend John Michel Cavendish non-experiment. But I digress. We'll get to more of that here in a minute. But remember the ballers. How many times you heard the ballers say, well, Cavendish made a big TQE. Really? From Lauren Hodges, Cavendish's paper, I want to direct your attention down here, just circle down here. Cavendish's paper did not disappoint me in this respect. There were 3 major surprises awaiting me. Number 1, first, Cavendish did not determine either G or M. He determined the average density of the Earth. Let me ask you a question. If density is mass over volume, and Cavendish didn't determine M either, then can somebody please tell me how you can come up with density without M? If density is mass over volume. Oh, by the way, he didn't have volume either. I digress. That's what I'm saying. It's a clown show, right? But this part over here is what we're more interested in for right now. Cavendish did not determine either G or M, period. All you got to do is read his paper to know this. Why do they say it? Because they're the left-wing faction that just makes shit up when it's convenient or when they're cornered, right? So this is a belly laugher. Number 4, the modern notation involving the constant big G wasn't introduced, like I said, until 1894 by Charles Vernon Boyce. So the bastardization of Newton's debunked law, big G, didn't make its appearance until 207 friggin' years after the Principia was published. This is a matter of fact. So wait for it. It's not Newton's law. Duh. Moreover, the booger eaters ascribe gravity to Newton, right? Well, let's do this again. In a letter to Dr. Richard Bentley on February 25th, 1692, Isaac Newton says, and this is, you can get this at stanford.edu, by the way. Everyone's seen this before. This is right as rain. This is what Isaac Newton said. 'Tis inconceivable that inanimate brute matter should, without mediation of something else, which is not material, operate upon and affect other matter without mutual contact, as it must be if gravitation, in the sense of Epicurus, be essential and inherent in it. And this is one reason why, pay attention, here's the why, Betty, and this is one reason why I desired you would not ascribe innate gravity to me. I don't know how any more clear he can make this. That gravity should be innate inherent and essential to matter, so that one body may act upon another at a distance through a vacuum without the mediation of anything else, by and through which their action and force may be conveyed from one to another, is to me so great an absurdity that I believe no man who has in philosophical matters a competent faculty of thinking can ever fall into. Let me translate this for you. Isaac Newton's telling you that if you believe in the horseshit gravity, you need to be institutionalized. And you're a Mr. Magoo. I'll continue. Gravity must be caused by an agent acting constantly according to certain laws, but whether this agent be material or immaterial, I have left to consideration of my readers. So he was talking about the creator in here. I added this just in case people had a problem with it. It has nothing to do with this up here. We want to focus on would not ascribe innate gravity to me. So he said, don't ascribe that crap to me. So what did they do? They ascribed it to him. Everyone says Newtonian gravity, right? No, he told you not to. So I will attempt, I only use Newton and Newtonian in this context because just to let everyone know what I actually mean. Because if I say somebody else, you're going to say, well, I never heard of that. So I'll say Newton, Reverend John Michel, Cavendish, and I'll highlight those things as we go along. But I don't like attributing this to Newton because he said not to do it. Follow? Hopefully you guys got that. So turn out the lights, you mindless, wiki parroting pretender clowns, you're toast. You have absolutely no frigging clue as to what you speak of. Shocking surprise. That's what you get for mindlessly parroting wiki and priest from your ball-tart spinning space monkey congregation. That's what you get. And you'll continue to do it. I don't know how many times that I've posted this over the years. It's in the multiple hundreds. Let's go a little deeper with Lauren Hodges here. Let's see what we have. Oh, yeah, with the Michelle Cavendish. Here's Lauren Hodges again, Iowa State Physics Department. The evidence is clear that Michelle and Cavendish both deserve credit for the Cavendish experiment, which is a non-experiment, which should probably be referred to as the Michelle Cavendish experiment. So I thought I coined the phrase first. I'm telling you I did, even before I seen her article. But I digress. It doesn't really matter. Michelle Cavendish non-experiment. It was Michelle who thought the experiment up. That was a non-experiment. Including he invented the torsion balance that is at the heart of the experiment, which isn't an experiment. It was Michelle who built the original apparatus for the experiment, which is not an experiment, an apparatus clearly capable of producing the results desired. What the hell is that supposed to mean? This one. Clearly capable of producing the results desired. That sounds a little squirrely to me. But again, I digress. The fact that the purpose of the experiment, non-experiment, was to determine the specific gravity. That's an old term. That means density. Of the Earth. Remember, we're going to get back to that in a second. Of the Earth suggests that geology rather than theoretical physics? Huh. Theoretical physics was the motivation. So gravity is theoretical physics? That's very interesting there, Professor Hodges, the way you explained that. Huh. So let's get back to this for a second. The density of the Earth, right? Well, Hodges already said that Cavendish didn't find M. Remember, density equals mass over volume. In secular society, how can you find density if you're missing mass? We're going to get more into that. They don't even know what it is. They don't have mass or volume. They don't have the two variables needed to come up with density. How'd they do that? I'll tell you how they did it. They made it up! So it should be known as the Reverend John Michel Cavendish non-experiment. That's what it should. That's what it is. They just got done telling you that. So let's get to the hypothesis. We'll get to Newton again. This is in the Principia. This is off the reservation from this point down. We'll get there. Just stay patient. From the Principia, this is Isaac Newton, I have not as yet been able to discover the reason for these properties of gravity from phenomena. And I do not feign hypotheses. Uh-oh. We'll get down here saying that this isn't science because you need hypothesis for experiment. But I want to deal with this second half first. Listen to this closely. For whatever is not deduced from the phenomena must be called a hypothesis. What? What the hell did you just say? And hypotheses, whether metaphysical or physical, what? Or based on occult qualities. This, I'm telling you, this is off the reservation. This guy is one step away from cutting his own ear off. This is nonsensical bullshittery on a high level. So back, whether metaphysical or physical or based on occult qualities or mechanical, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Have no place in experimental philosophy? What? What the hell is that? It gets better. In this philosophy, particular propositions are inferred from the phenomena. What? Inferred from phenomena and afterwards rendered general by induction. Remember that last part. Rendered general by induction. So, first of all, he makes no hypothesis because he can't. It's nonsensical. It's not science, folks. You need hypotheses for experiments and experiments for it to be natural science. You don't believe me? From Nature.com, California Institute of Technology physicist Sean Carroll, high priest, arguing in The Edge, hypotheses aren't simply useful tools in some potentially outmoded vision of science. They're the whole point. So, Sean, Newton said he has no hypothesis for gravity. So, how can it be friggin' scientific then? Can somebody answer me that? It's rhetorical, don't answer. Because it's a train wreck. You see how bad this is getting? It gets worse. Remember his little induction up here, right? In this philosophy, whatever philosophy he was talking about up here, friggin' train wreck, convoluted philosophy, propositions are inferred from the phenomena and afterwards rendered general by induction. Really? Let's pile on. From the King Cheese, philosopher of science, Karl Popper. From Conjectures and Refutations, 1963. As mentioned in the section, The Problem of Induction, Popper's response to the problem of induction is simply that induction is actually never used in science. What the hell we got going on here? This is some convoluted horsepuckery, folks. I told you. We'll finish it up. He says in Another Thing, Conjectures and Refutation, Karl Popper, philosopher of science, sought to solve the problem of induction. He argued that science does not use induction, and induction is in fact a myth. So, like I said, this is a convoluted cluster gaggle of epic proportions on every level. Every single sentence, every single word. It's all contradictory. It just seems like they said this, that they just made it up. They don't care about the continuity of logical consistency, right? They don't care to just make it up. This can be reconciled by a grade schooler, what I'm doing right now. Why hasn't it been? Why do I have to come by and do this? Right? This is systematic, step by step by step. There's no argument against this. Everything I just said. I don't know, folks. Lord help us. Moreover, the ballers scientific community, this is another belly laugher. We're getting more convoluted as we go. The baller scientific community the pseudoscientific community, in other words, doesn't follow Newtonian. Now, I'm just saying Newtonian. It's not, remember, Newton said he didn't want to have anything to do with it. So this is more, doesn't follow the Reverend John Michelle Cavendish CV Boys gravity. They tell you right here, you got George friggin' Mooser in Scientific American. Listen closely. Einstein created his general theory of relativity. This is the key part, which provides our modern understanding of gravity. There it is. Why am I still hearing Newton? He's telling you right here. With the express purpose of expunging non-locality from physics, Isaac Newton's gravity acted at a distance as if by magic, and general relativity stamped to 1 and 2 by showing that the curvature of space-time and not an invisible force give rise to gravitational attraction. It's over. Unless he's a numpty. Not a force. Well, if he's a numpty, you got more numpties following him. From Caltech, Einstein came up with the theory of general relativity in 1915, the prototype of all modern gravitational theories. Its crucial ingredient involving a colossal, love that word, intellectual jump is the concept of gravitation not as a force, but as a manifestation of the curvature of spacetime. More or less the same thing that Georgie Mooser said. And Brian Cox, there really isn't a force. Isn't really a force of gravity at all. It's over. Why are these people saying it? That's why I said you got this left wing, the anti-flat earthers are this left-wing fuckwit faction that doesn't even parrot. They're pseudoscientists. They just make shit up. It's right here. What are they going to do? Can you reconcile this, guys? You anti-flat earthers. Can't. Only thing you could reconcile maybe is the crayons you're munching. This is another belly laugher. Newton, now, not Newton. Cavendish and CV Boys and Reverend John Michelle and Weird Al's gravity are not the same. They're not connected in any way whatsoever. Even if they were legitimate, both of them, they're not connected. And they're not legitimate. They're both debunked. But even if they were, it's still nonsensical bullshittery. Let me show you. Scientific theories never, ever, ever explain laws. Ever. You tossers. Newtonian gravity and Einstein, that's not Newtonian gravity, that's Reverend John Michelle, CV Boys, you know what I mean. And Einsteinian gravity are mutually exclusive. Just on a superficial look, not even getting into anything in detail. This takes no scrutiny whatsoever. Newtonian gravity, you know what I mean, is a force. Einsteinian gravity is not a force. I just showed you up there. They're not even in the same geometry, for crying out loud. Newtonian gravity, you know what I mean, is Euclidean 3 space, whereas Einsteinian gravity is pseudo-Riemannian 4 space. They're not in the same geometry. Like I said, just superficial stuff. Everyone knows this. This is the real belly laugher, right? Well, the other ones are typical. They are on the same level of belly laugher, but it's pretty funny. Newtonian gravity, you know what I mean, is instantaneous actions at a distance. By the way, that debunks special relativity. Einstein gravity is limited to the speed of light. So they can't be connected. If you say Einstein's gravity is just expanding or expounding on Newton's gravity, you know what I mean by Newtonian gravity, is expanding on it, then you're saying that Einstein debunks special relativity. You can't make this up, folks. You really can't. I mean, this is like shooting pregnant hippos in a fishbowl. I told you it would get more convoluted as we went, didn't I? Drunken sailors and field goal posts have more in common than Newton's, you know what I mean, and Einstein's fairy tales. They're not even close. How many times have you heard anti-flat earthers talk about how Einstein is just expanding on Newton? How many times? Countless, right? And it's going to continue for the foreseeable future. I'll guarantee it. Why on earth are you baltards still appealing to Newtonian? You know what I mean. Cavendish, CV Boys, you know, that gravity. All that these crayon munching winky parroters are doing is taking an effect things fall to the ground at 9.8 meters per second squared per second, which is bullshit to begin with, and then conclude by mere declaration, gravity is the cause. It's a juvenile non sequitur fallacy. They use this value and put it into their fairy tale description equations and say, it works. Then they say, voila, gravity exists. Really? Which one? I know they're both the same. My word. The attribution or cause of the effect has not been identified or isolated, scientifically validated. It hasn't been. Everyone knows this. Now we get into some good stuff. So, mass attracting mass, right? And I switched over. Reverend John Michelle Cavendish CV Boys were getting to the hypothesis because Newton, recused himself from the hypothesis. But we've all heard this before. So they're not parroting Newton, that's for sure. Right? So they must be conjuring this from Reverend John Michelle Cavendish or CV Boys. The hypothesis, which is a tear-jerking belly laugher in itself. If mass, then mass attracts mass. That's what it is. That's what they give us. How many times have we heard this? In other words, given A, then A attracts A. Oh, this gets better. The Mr. Magoo's circle jerk of the millennium right here. This isn't non sequitur. Non sequiturs blushing. Independent variable mass. Dependent variable mass. Mass attracts mass. Got to get you some of that. Here comes the real fun part, right? Because I've been doing this for years. As soon as somebody says mass, I say, define that monkey. Why am I saying that? Here's why I'm saying it. From Anne-Marie Helmestein, PhD, Biomedical Sciences. Words have precise meanings in science. Precise meanings in science. Y'all get that? Let's try another one. Dr. Mary Schweitzer, paleontologist, North Carolina State. Listen up closely. Exactly. That's one of the things I drive my students crazy on. Words count. Words are important. Choose your words carefully. If you could believe it, last night I was in a debate. It was a train wreck for this guy. It was really funny, by the way. But I digress. I put this statement out at first. That's what I'm going to do from now on. Before I even start getting into the topic, I say this. Dr. Mary Schweitzer, do you agree or disagree? Dr. Mary Schweitzer said this. Words count. Words are important. Choose your words carefully. I say, you agree with that? He said yes. No more than 15 minutes into the discussion, he charged me with semantics. You can't make this up. I said, well, wait a second. Didn't we agree back there? Right? On words count. Words are important. Choose your, yeah. No. Semantics, Dewey. Freaking clown. You want to listen to that? It's a total friggin' short-haired dragon. So here we go. Mass definition 1. As soon as I put definition number 1, there's a rooster in a hen house. You already know it. So let's take a look at this. Mass definition 1. We're going to use our alma mater wiki. Let's take a look at it as always. So we got the definition for mass, definition for inertia. Let's take a look at it. Mass is both a property of a physical body and the measure of its resistance to acceleration. Yeah? Sound right? Ruh-roh, Shaggy. Inertia is the resistance of any physical object to any change in its velocity. Well, change in its velocity is acceleration. These are saying the same thing. You have two different words for the same definition. You can't have that. That's called the law of identity violation. I don't know what else to tell you. It's right here for you. I took them right from Alma Mater Wiki. They're both the same thing. I don't know. So when the knuckle draggers, this is what you do. When they, resistance to acceleration for mass, right? So when they do that, when the knuckle draggers mindlessly commit to mass as resistance to acceleration, then all you got to do is just take them right where they want to go. Remember their hypothesis. If mass, then mass attracts mass. So what you do is you substitute the definition of mass for the word mass, right? Make sense? So let's see what we get. Ball-tard hypothesis. Given the resistance to acceleration, then the resistance to acceleration attracts the resistance to acceleration. That's what it is. It's right there. Right? What did I tell you from the beginning? This cascades into a bigger belly-laughing clown show than you could ever imagine. Hasn't ended yet. This is what it is, folks. What a belly laugher. Another one, mass definition number 2. So this is from New York University. Kind of prestigious place right there. Mass is a measurement of the amount of matter something contains. Ruh-roh, Shaggy. From Chemistry World, the Royal Society of Chemistry. The big pants right there, by the way. The mole became part of the International System of Units, the SI, in 1971. Currently, it is defined as the amount of substance that contains as many entities as there are in 0.012 kilograms of carbon-12. These are the same thing. And then you say, oh, no, QE, you're wrong. It's a specific amount. Just because a mole is specified amount of substance that contains doesn't render null the fact that each are entirely based on the amount of matter or substance something contains. It's the same thing. Oh, boy. This is another going, again, from the Royal Society of Chemistry. Big pants. Big boy pants here. Moreover, studies have shown that the amount of substance, remember that substance we were talking about earlier, Betty? I told you we were going to get into substance. Studies have shown that the amount of substance is often incorrectly identified with mass. It's incorrect. I don't know what else to tell you. P.S. The new mole definition contains exactly Avogadro's number of elementary entities. Just FYI. The tangled webs you mindless parroters weave. So what is mass? This is pretty funny too. What is mass? So we'll go with Taylor, Edwin, and Professor John Wheeler, Space-Time Physics, in 1992. Nature does not offer us any concept as the amount of matter. History has struck down every proposal to define such a term. Even if we could count the number of atoms or by any other counting method try to evaluate the amount of matter, that number would not equal mass. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, they're telling you straight up right there. This is pretty funny. So I ran into this because I've been saying for a really, really long time that mass doesn't have a definition. And then I ran into this from Max Born, Nobel Prize winner, by the way. We're in the big boy pants now. All right. And Olivia Newton-John's grandfather. That's Max Born. Listen to what he has to say here. In ordinary language, the word mass denotes something like amount of substance or quantity of matter. These concepts themselves being defined no further. The concept of substance is considered self-evident. Listen closely. In physics, however, as we must very strongly emphasize, now not only emphasize, but in physics, he's strongly emphasizing it, the word mass has no meaning. The word mass has no meaning. Other than that given by formula. Well, that's not physics, that's mathematics. Right? It is the measure of the resistance to changes in velocity. That's your resistance to changes in velocity is acceleration. So resistance to acceleration, right? Alrighty then. Ball-tard hypothesis. Given the resistance to acceleration, then the resistance to acceleration attracts the resistance to acceleration. It's over. That's what I'm saying here, folks. This is it. It's over. It's over for them. This is one it's so convoluted of a gaggle screw. There isn't words in the English or any other language to fully encapsulate the friggin' clown show here. You can't do it. I'd like to hear somebody try. Questions, comments? There'll be a little delay. They'll catch up in a second.
Questions, comments? It's too much.
We're going to leave it there.
What?
We're going to leave it there before we get into Newton and Einstein specifically. We'll do that next week, but I'm going to stop it right there. So, sorry, somebody was saying something. Questions, comments, go ahead.
Oh, it's Paul. I hadn't heard from you. I know you hadn't heard from me in a while. What does attraction mean? What does it mean?
I didn't hear you. Say it again.
What does attraction mean?
Attraction.
I know you hadn't heard from me in a while. Yeah, resistance to acceleration attracts a resistance to acceleration. What does attraction mean?
I could probably give a synonym of attraction.
Isn't that causing acceleration technically? Attraction, movement. So resistance to acceleration is causing movement. Is that what I'm hearing?
This is so non sequitur, man. I can't believe you're even bringing it up. You answer that question yourself. I can't answer your question. It's stupefying.
Well, attraction, gravitating.
But attraction signifies movement.
Movement implies acceleration. So resistance to acceleration causes acceleration.
Hey, I'm just giving you the information, man.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot, right? That we can go over, right? Was there a new citation that I saw about Hopkins guy, whatever? What was it? You said that there was a someone referring to basically how you said that Mitchell.
Oh yeah. Olivia Newton-John's grandfather, Max Born.
No, earlier on. Forget about the other name.
It was Laurent Hodges.
Yeah. Is that a new quote? New.
No, this has been out here for a long time, man.
Hey, go back in your presentation because you took it away already.
I did. I put it back up. There's the paper right there.
Yeah, go back in your presentation.
Oh, go back in the presentation. Okay.
You said there was something that changed, and you already said it. You said in.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. You get it when you hit this hyperlink. You get a 404 error. It's been eliminated.
Unbelievable, huh? And that's how they do it. That's Orwell, right?
I haven't read 1984, by the way.
Well, you don't need to. You only need to read the footnotes, and you know what they do.
Yeah, they took it away. The same thing happened not too long ago when they took the entropy site completely. They just took it off. It's just nowhere there. Not anything is there. It's the same.
The things they don't like, they just change up, and they whisk away all the things that you have as a referral, right? And you might be lucky if a lot of people quoted it, so that they can't get around it, that it must have been an existing thing.
Yeah, this is gone.
Time.
Yeah. So Lauren Hodges, can't reach this page. Yeah, that's been that way for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, and then afterwards you said something about a new quote that you snatched up, and that someone used your how you reference it.
Yeah, that was Max Born. That was Olivia Newton-John's grandfather.
Okay, yeah. Well, isn't that interesting that they use your words now?
No, I think. See, I wasn't aware of it, so he said it first. So credit goes to him first.
Good.
Because he said that many years ago. Max Born was way back there. He was way back with Heisenberg and Einstein and all those guys.
Yes. So usually what happens is that people say, well, the ISS is up there, and they took pictures and satellites and that sort of stuff, and we can go to Mars and the moon, and we were there, and people that are so into the whole NASA stuff. And when you say, how can you have a vacuum next to a non-vacuum, right? That argument for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the easy word they sort of think they can get out of is like gravity.
Yep. Or pressure gradient. Yeah. Yeah. But gravity is the number. Yeah. You're right. Yes.
So how would you then proceed?
With gravity, I go right into the first. I have to explain the second law of thermodynamics and all that stuff, and then usually I'll just come out with which gravity are you talking about. That's usually what I first do. Right. And then I said 98% of the time they're going to respond with Newton because they do not want anything to do with Einstein because they know I'm going to ask them questions on it and they're clueless. Right. So they're just going to Newton, which isn't really Newton, by the way, but they're going to do that. And then I'm just, it's, I can go any number of ways once they say Newton.
Yeah.
So it's left up to my fancy.
And what if they say something like relativity?
What if they say it?
Yeah.
Well, then I'll
That's not-
ask them what the general theory of relativity is.
And then they get stuck.
Then and then I'm going to ask them to go back at November 25th, 1915, go back to the original paper that denotes it as a scientific theory and pull out the experiment that validates it. Then you get your popcorn out.
Hmm.
But we'll
And the
go over,
insults
we'll
right?
go over that next time. Go ahead.
And the insults start happening.
Oh yeah, that usually happens long before that.
Yeah. So how do you get through the whole insult?
Well, they say that I'm aggressive.
Mm-hmm. You are aggressive.
Really?
Yeah, you want to make your point across, right?
Yeah, they don't like that. Then I get concerned trolls saying, "Why are you hollering? Why are you using strong language like that?"
Mm-hmm.
I get the snowflake Sally. You gotta put your snivel gear on.
Yeah. Well, but it's sort of an argument of
Yeah,
weakness. I think if you lose it, right? You should if you have the arguments down, if you have the whole thing like, well, it's basically watertight, this one, right? And they can't handle that. It's on them. It's not. You don't even need to raise your voice because there's no need.
every single argument I have is watertight.
Yeah, and these people are like wounded animals. And you know how it is to treat a wounded animal. Most of the time, you can't get near them.
Did you say woman animal?
Wounded. Oh, wounded animal.
It's hard to suppress my absolute contempt for pretender clowns.
Again? Sorry.
It's hard to suppress my utter contempt for pretender clowns. Just
Yeah,
like
but that's. I don't get it. If you're already. Why would you get angry? You don't get angry at a kid that doesn't understand.
why are we off into this?
Well, because it's a thing, you know? And I mean, sometimes we get over the edge with getting angry, but I mean, then they say, okay, you get to sort of get into different discussions. Why do you get angry? Why do you do this? Why do you need to be that? And you're so rude. And they
That-
have all these ways out. And if you just stay like your normal self, you just state it and you let them go, right? They have nothing to go on. They have nothing.
It
And
doesn't
it
matter.
it makes them even worse, right? It makes them even
It doesn't matter. They'll find something else.
acting on them, right? Instead of your new.
It doesn't matter. They'll find some other excuse.
It doesn't matter, but it's not yours then, right?
Oh, they get crashed anyway. The reason I get really frustrated with is when they start to contradict themselves. When I can tell right away within the first 5 to 10 seconds whether they're a pretender clown or not. So I already know just by the words that just how they present themselves. Now, if they're legitimate, if they're asking legitimate questions, or they have I get a sense that they're legitimate, then you won't hear my voice raise all that much. It's only when I catch them lying or double speaking or trying to weasel, then I start to get a little bit, how you want to say, fiery.
Fiery. It's like a flamethrower.
We're not here to discuss. This isn't an intervention.
As far as you know.
That's right. This is about gravity. Part 1. I forgot to put part 1 on it.
Isn't this all? I mean, it's already shut down, pretty much.
I'll try to divert real quick. Check this out. Again, Max Born, right? We'll go over this one again. This is really good. I like this one. So let's listen to it again. In ordinary language, the word mass denotes something like amount of substance or quantity of matter. These concepts themselves being defined no further. The concept of substance is considered self-evident. We hold these truths as self-evident. In physics, I love it when he did this. In physics, however, as we must strongly emphasize, the word mass has no meaning. I love that. Max was all over this. Yeah, this is well duh, right? And then it says, other than given it by form, this is what the baltards stick with right here. They say, but you didn't finish the sentence, Curie. This doesn't help you none. He says, other than that, given by formula. Well, that's not physics. That's mathematics. And, by the way, every single variable in mathematics has to be rigorously defined. So right here it says it is the measure of the resistance to change of velocity, right? So, okay, it still has no meaning in physics, by the way, but we'll roll with your mathematics definition, right? And I'll just give it to you here. Given the resistance to acceleration, then the resistance to acceleration attracts the resistance to acceleration. Then you're over. It's all over. So checkmate for about the 570,897th time. All right. Yep, this is joke. This is jokes. I think I made my point. Questions, comments, no interventions?
No, that's not a good thing.
Let's see what we got out there. Let's see if we got anything from chat. Let me check in. Arwen says Betty is gravitating towards an intervention.
Sort of the law of attraction.
Yep, there's not too much out there. Well, I didn't expect much. What are you going to do?
Well, it started wrong already. I mean, you said something about that whole equation, right?
Yes.
Where you big G. Well, some might not know, but maybe the newcomers, what the whole Cavendish thing was. Care to explain that one? That non-experiment that they call an experiment, which wasn't.
Can you say that one more time?
Can you elaborate on the whole Cavendish thing? But coming in here and don't know about the whole Cavendish thing.
Well, we were going to get into that next time.
Yeah, but just a brief thing.
So why it's not an experiment?
Why did he? What was it? And what did he try to do?
He tried to find density of the Earth. They don't even know that because most haven't even looked at the original paper. So that's what he was doing, and that's why I brought up when Lauren Hodges evaluated the paper. Remember, she said, I just got rid of that document, by the way. Remember, she said, or that I don't know whether it's a man or a woman. That it doesn't matter. That they said that Cavendish didn't, after they read the paper, Cavendish didn't either come up with either big G or M. So, as I said, if you have density equals mass over volume in secular language, then you need mass and volume. They had neither. So how do you come up with density without the variables of mass and volume being defined rigorously? You can't. It's nonsensical.
Checks out.
Yeah.
So when you have that equation, right? What they put up.
Which equation? CV Boy's equation or Newton's?
Doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. I mean, I have something with these equations or something against them in that sense. What's the outcome?
The outcome is the people that post them, they're exposed badly.
Yeah, that's another outcome. But what is usually an outcome of an equation?
Well, equation, the left part and the right part are equal.
And then, so it's a number, right?
It's not only a number, it's an equality.
Yeah, but at least there's a number. So say that the number is like 12.
All right.
What the fuck does that mean?
A dozen?
Yeah, that's not what. That's not what.
It depends on what you're talking about.
Well, we're talking about gravity, didn't we?
You got dozens of gravity, man.
Yeah, but so what does that mean? What does that number equate to?
What, 12?
Yeah, for example, if the outcome is 12, what the hell do I do with 12? 12 gravity? What the fuck is that?
Hey, watch it with the F-bomb. What about
Whoa.
you need an intervention.
Hold on. Is Betty
Well-
cursed that twice? I thought I was hearing things the first time. Betty!
Yeah, well, this is what happens when you are like in this sort of situation with people that do this all the time. You get be the same. So, but I want to know, what is 12? What if it was 25? What is 25?
Well, you'd
I
have
remember.
to.
Wait a minute. I remember that once a time, rhetoric was like putting things to the test through that equation, and he was like doing all kinds of stuff, and he came out with a number. And I thought, okay, so now you have a number. A number of what?
It's a good question.
I mean, the gravitation is 12. All right. So what do I feel that? Do I feel that? What if it is 25 in compared to 12? What is there a difference? He said something also about being further from the equator, like on the North Pole, as opposed to on the equator, and the number would be different. And I thought, yeah, so what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
At least with warmth, right? The Celsius and the Fahrenheit. It's also it's a convention basically, right? We made up that convention that, well, if it's sort of like a certain degree, we feel that temperature and they think, okay, it could be that, right? But it's just a number. For me, 26 Celsius is like, oh, nice warm, right? But in Fahrenheit, you might say, well, that's the same, right? But it's just a different number. It's just that we gave these sort of values towards numbers or in degrees or whatever, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't say anything.
Can I say something? It gives us a language where we can understand each other, but with gravity, it doesn't mean nothing.
Exactly, Neil, you got it.
It doesn't
So-
mean nothing as a double negative, so then it means something.
Yeah, it means that it's bullshit. Basically.
Yes, it means It means the gravity means bullshit. But I understand temperature, and 80 degrees, I'm warm.
Yeah, exactly. So that scale about gravity scale, it doesn't do anything, right? So we can have a whole equation, but the equation is about nothing.
You're not going to get an argument from me if that's what you're trying to do.
So, yeah. So when they are coming up with these equations, what if Newton would have had that equation and he would come out with the number 12 or something, right? And then, okay, so I have the number 12. So that apple that fell on his head, oh, it's 12.
So if it was 50, it would have slammed down on his head.
Well, then you have a measuring scale, right? But we don't have that.
Right.
So
I
some
understand what
things,
you're saying.
yeah. So some things fall in different ways, and that seems not to be the case, right? In a vacuum, things fall equally fast, like
No,
feathers and balls and stuff
no, they
fall
don't. Nope,
in the ground.
nope,
I've
that,
seen feathers and a bowling ball fall at the same rate
nope, you
in a
didn't.
vacuum.
Nope, you didn't. In a vacuum, so we're completely out of science right now, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So there must be something with that whole gases thing that sort of makes things a little different.
Yeah, did you throw some gas in that vacuum and see how fast they fell?
Yeah. Well, I've seen them bouncing up and down the walls, right, of the container.
They fall down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash.
Yeah. So there is nothing interesting about it, right? So the whole equation, I never got that. I never sort of, that never did anything for me, right? And then if even the M and G didn't even exist back then, or they don't even know or can't define it, then what are we doing?
Yeah, well, you can't put anything in this equation, right? Because you have M1, M2, that's mass. Well, this is an equation, so you have to define it. And it's meaningless in physics from Max Born. It also has a radius here, squared. Where'd you get the radius? Right? This is a train. You have nothing here. This is absolutely nothing. I could just make up a formula right now that has the same veracity as this. I could.
I see some comments in the chat that says, "I'm 4 dozen angry about gravity."
that makes about as much sense as this equation does.
It does, and then someone says, "Well, they say that the answer to the universe is 42." It's like, what the f does this mean?
Oh, you got them going now, Betty. I think they're on the same wavelength as you.
Yeah, I mean, just look at this as if you're a child and you have no understanding of anything, and people are trying to explain you like these concepts, like these, yeah, not really tangible physical concepts. Of
Yep.
course, you know that things fall down, but if you put a number against things fall down, you don't you don't care. So I drop a glass. Oh, it's a 0.12 gravity scale fall. What the hell, right? What does it mean? It fell down the ground.
I think you made your point. And
But
not
then what's
everything
the
falls down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash, blah.
I was just
Not
gonna
that
say,
glass.
what's the number for my helium balloon that goes up?
I think it's minus 12.
It's the inverse.
It's
That
minus
checks out.
12. It goes up. Maybe it goes boom boom too, but we don't hear it.
They never say it right, do they? So gases go down, go boom, boom. That's not the end. That's not it. That's not. I told you what the full one is. It's go down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash.
I think with gases it goes. Too funny. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's it for today. We'll go into the specifics. I don't. After this, why should I even do it? Right? Well, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So we'll go
Well,
into.
it's just one time that I heard the whole presentation again, and I might go back to it because I also try to monitor stuff and right, so I miss a lot, and also with the delay sometimes with the YouTube and in Discord. That's I don't know why that is. Right, it shouldn't be there, but it is. But it's still interesting. I mean, and I think it was long due for us to hear it again, right? To and also see how they try to adjust, right? It seems like they're monitoring us still and try to get links to say something else or either delete them.
There's so much information out there that even though that they play the little reindeer games with deleting stuff, I've got so much. They can't delete my how would you say ammo box.
Oh yes, they can.
Nah, it's
out.
no, because they get into trouble. And I brought this up before. Remember the last time when Professor Wolfs from the University of Rochester was tipped off that flat earthers was using his scientific method? He deleted it. It went bye-bye. And then but 2 weeks later, it popped back up. See, the reason why was, and I knew this was going to happen. That's why I just waited. That when he posted that, and it was up for many years, that a lot of people, a lot of professionals and academia go ahead and cite that as, or use the citation or use it as a reference, right? So it's in their bibliography or works cited page. And if those links aren't good anymore, it kind of taints, it's just uncouth, right? So I knew that would happen. And so I just waited. And boom, pop right back up again. Yeah, you damn Skippy, it did. Now, with other more obscure stuff, what surprised me the most, I'm going to have to tell you, this shocked me, and I'm still waiting for it to pop up, was Professor Frank Lambert and the entropy site. That took me by surprise, I'd have to admit. I wasn't prepared for that. I said, they're not, because Dr. Frank Lambert, he is a legend, but he's passed away, right? So I'm sure that has a lot to do with why it disappeared. I don't know about why, but the feasibility of it disappearing. How about that? Maybe it greased the skids a little bit, but I have to say I was pretty. I'm still pretty surprised at that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But I still had the Wayback Machine, so I just not only that, I ditched the Wayback Machine, and I found the PDF of most of the stuff on his site, so they're still screwed.
So many people have like screenshotted things and that sort of stuff, right?
I did
But
with
Yeah.
some things because I've experienced this. You're well aware of that. This has been happening for a while now.
Yeah, I mean that's why sometimes you need books because they can't get rid of books that easily, right? It's always someone that has it in their on their shelf somewhere. But still, that's also going on. I've been having a hard time to find a citation out of the Jewish Encyclopedia, um, and I've seen a reference, a sort of a quote out of that book, out of the encyclopedia, and I only can find the quotes and the page numbers where it's on, right, and where you can find it, which date. Never to be found. Also in Wayback Machine doesn't work because these people have these ways of making things disappear, right? And
It's not in the Wayback Machine.
no, it's all gone there as well. So they
We'll have
really important stuff they make disappear.
we'll have
It's
to
like
try. We'll have to try that.
burning.
Oh my God.
It wasn't done yet. You just didn't let me finish. Sound like Jim Panda now.
Hey! Don't
Let
you
me
ever!
finish! Yeah. Don't throw me to the wolf pups yet, but let me finish.
That's the worst insult ever.
That's what she projected that because he always say, "Let me finish." She was saying, "Let me finish." So why you charge me with that?
Because you didn't let me finish. Easy.
My God, it's like arguing with a baller. All right, good. Finish up because I wanted to speak to that Wayback Machine. Go ahead.
I was already done, but you just overtalked me. Right?
All right, yeah. I find it pretty difficult to think that they got rid of it from the Wayback Machine. I have never had that happen to me before.
Yeah, well, many people have found that to be true.
Okay.
They can also delete it. They can make things disappear.
Yeah.
And they're going to do that also. The Wayback Machine is just someone that's like maintaining that a little, I think. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is, but they can manipulate that as well. I've seen it happen, and that makes me worried because there might in the future not be any of these references anymore because they're going to eradicate it. Especially when we are busy on day-to-day life, like yeah, getting your own food on the shelf, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So if you're busy like surviving, you can't be like keeping a track with all these citations and information.
Well, that's correct.
That's when the book burning begins, and it's
Ah, that's when it starts.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, well, you'll have that.
yeah. Well, I hope that everybody else makes their own like sort of repository of truth, so that they can later on, yeah,
Their silo of truth.
yeah. Well, they can nail it to the cross, but it will not be research. He said, think that.
All right, woman, that's the end. Let's get final thoughts.
Okay, from who?
From the people in Discord.
All right. Well, I see Don at the top. Hey, Don, did you listen to all the presentation, or want to add something? Don,
Oh, yo. Hey, guys, what's up?
Oh, hot.
the sky is up.
Sorry, man, my bad. It's pretty busy. How's it going, guys?
Good.
I came late.
Let's talk about why you came late.
Busy, man, busy with this house.
I was being facetious.
Oh, I see.
Oh, let him go. That's a nasty stuff to.
That wasn't nasty. That was very nice of me.
No, you ask something and then you don't want to hear the answer. Come on.
There we go.
See? There
Just
you go.
shut down communication.
All right. So that's it, Don. You don't want to add
No,
something?
yeah, I wanted to ask Kiwi a question. What could we establish as an experiment?
Oh my God.
That's a kind of long.
It's kind of vague.
Oh, too.
Well, I mean, the doubles. I mean,
No, gravity.
gravity.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
don't subscribe to that.
Yeah.
Like the double slit. Right?
Nope.
So the
Not talking about double slit experiment. You're a flat earther. I'm not talking about it. Yep. So you're gonna have to ask somebody else. I'm not doing it. Go back and review my presentations on they. In fact, under every video that I put out or Nathan puts out, if you check the show more box, you scroll down there and there's quantum mechanics presentations, at least 3, that go into hyper excruciating detail on every point. So there's no need to ask me any questions. Unless you got a question about what's on those presentations, then I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, on the present, like the gradient, right? So the photographic plates, isn't that man-made?
Oh, God. Don, you're going to embarrass yourself. I'm going to tell you to cease and desist right now before you train wreck yourself. Okay?
QE, didn't I tell you that the other day? I wrote it in the freaking chat what they're saying.
Yeah, but it's not the topic for today. Let's
Just
not
let me
deal with
tell you
that.
this, Don, and then we'll move on. The photographic plate isn't the dependent variable. Okay? Now we can move on.
All right. Neil,
Yes.
what do you think
Agreed
of the
on.
presentation?
Oh, it's ace as always. Always. That's
Good,
it. Do your homework on this stuff. Like QE said, if I was him, I'd take the same stance. It's all in there. Go search it out. I wouldn't talk to them either about it.
All right. And then we got Sasha. and I think I missed um, oh my god, I can't. A super chat of Sasha, but it was a long time ago. Yeah, it was right underneath the guy that said something about the wingies, by the wingies,
Ah, okay.
and he said why and how and not what. So it was sort of out of context, but still did a super chat.
Thanks, Sasha.
So Sasha, you wanna say something about this?
Yeah, I
Gravity?
missed the second part, but gravity is boring.
Gravity's void.
No, it's boring. No, it's boring. I cannot say like that. I don't know. It's interesting to listen QE, but I can say that I heard 20 times this presentation.
Yeah. Well,
And
it's repeated.
it's not boring. It's good, but it's in a sense, how to say, if somebody new is listening, it should be interesting, you know.
Sure. But then again, yeah, we need to repeat this because people forget
Yeah,
it.
of course. Yeah.
And it hasn't been on the table for a long time. And somehow we work sort of in cycles. Like every once in a while, it gets back up on the table, and then we need to know how to combat this. And I think it's easy. Um, if you see that equation and then say, okay, what does this equation do exactly, right? So the cos is 12. What the
All
what the
all
hell?
he, all his presentation helped me to understand some things what I didn't understand in my life. That's it. I can
See,
say like that.
yeah,
And I
it's all
can and
life.
I was suggesting also other people to watch his presentations because he's not presenting himself, he's presenting the work of other people, and you can get it from there what it is or what is not, and that's it. If you don't get it, then that's your problem.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So I think we got them.
Well, you missed a couple.
Yeah, I know that Wrecked Gamer. He talked to me. He said about something about not being able to respond.
Okay.
And Pata C, he came in late, so I haven't seen him in the chat, so I don't think that he has anything to add. But you want to try?
Go ahead, Pazasi. Yeah, go ahead.
I opened up the mic.
Hello? I just listened to what you're saying, that was all.
Okay.
Interesting. Just one question I have. Earlier on you said that the scientific community make the assertion, if mass, then mass attracts mass. Is that a specific quote or axiom you're paraphrasing there, or is it something? What is that? Where do you get that from? Where do you get that quote from, or so to speak, or their assertion on their behalf? Is it someone who can go and look?
I think it was Rumpus.
Yeah, it's more or less the anti-flat earthers been telling us. It's a logical deduction that their argument is. They've always said mass attracts mass, right?
Yeah, but to put it in the terms, if mass, then mass attracts mass. Has any scientific luminary actually stated it in those terms?
No, that doesn't have to. Given mass, then mass attracts mass. It's just given. It's Mach's next. Doesn't mean
because I think a lot of the scientific community won't see any countenance for that. They'll say, well, when no one in our community said that explicitly, so I don't see why they would get defensive about that.
Yeah, you think that they'd get defensive about that, about the word given mass or the phrase given mass, you think?
I don't think anybody in the scientific community, as far as I'm aware, has ever stated as a law or an axiom, given mass, then mass attracts mass in those terms. So
yeah, that would be a hypothesis. Yeah, and you're talking about the scientific community. You mean the pseudo-scientific community?
Whatever it is, but can you give me a citation to anybody in opposition to your position who's explicitly said as a statement, if mass, then mass attracts mass?
Yeah, there was one. I think it was Hillbilly Blue Balls, the redneck retard. But I don't know if you categorize him as the scientist. He's a numpty dipshit to me. But would you take him?
No, I mean I asked about artists, if any luminary or any expert or any so-called proponent in opposition to your position, sort of thing. Who knows what they're talking about, really? Because if the point I'm making really is if I don't know that anybody, I can see why you can pick that apart if it's an assertion that's been made. But if it hasn't been made, isn't it kind of really a distraction?
Well, no. So what's the hypothesis then?
Well, I don't know what you mean by that.
Because you don't know what I mean by that, but I just told you that that's basically, essentially, their hypothesis. So when I say, what's the hypothesis then, how can you then say, I don't know what you mean by that?
No, that's the point. I get it now. Is your reading of what you think they said? Because they haven't said that explicitly. Right, okay. That's fine. I get it now. I get what you're saying. So what we're doing, now it makes sense. It's your reading of what they said.
Yes.
Okay.
So, this is about the hypothesis for the Cavendish, basically?
No, I was just merely asking about that quote because you framed that in a very particular way earlier on. That was why I was just curious as to where you got that from. You know, obviously, if your reading of everything else they've said, that's fair enough. I get it what you're saying now.
Well, in order, hold on a second, Sasha. In order for mass to attract mass, you have to have mass. So the statement, the sentence itself is pure.
Yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah. Right.
You see what I'm saying? You can't have mass if you're not. You can't have mass if you're not given mass.
Yeah, but that's like, you're saying if a property, then an aspect of that property is some aspect of that property. It's kind of wordplay more than it is a scientific axiom, you know?
It's not scientific at all. In fact, it's a train wreck non sequitur.
Right, but you just said that was your reading of what they say in general.
Yeah, and here we go around in a circle again. So how would you phrase it?
Well, I wouldn't phrase it in those terms. I wouldn't summarize it.
Well, phrase it.
Pardon?
Phrase it.
I'm not qualified to phrase all of gravitational theory in one sentence.
Gravitational theory? That's not gravitational theory anyway. That was coming from the universal law of gravitation. So that's not theory.
So which universal law of gravitation did you distill down into if mass, then mass attracts mass?
I didn't distill the law down to it. I distilled anti-flat earther rhetoric for the past 7 years that's been telling me mass attracts mass.
Okay.
Experiment, isn't it?
No, that wasn't an experiment, but it boils down to mass attracting mass. So I added given mass, because you can't have mass if you're not given it. Given mass, then mass attracts mass. Do you know how many times we've been told that?
Yeah, lots. One other question I got.
Yeah, lots.
Well, we have been told that lots. We were told all the time in education, aren't we? But the other question I got for you, you mentioned earlier on, I'm curious, there's a site, you said, a website you said talking about entropy that's been taken down, yeah?
Yeah.
Can you put the URL into the chat for me? Because have you tried the Wayback Machine or the
I have
internet?
I have.
I
have it. I said that. I got it on the Wayback Machine. However, I don't need it there. Now I got the full citation from a PDF. Let me get that for you. Hold on one.
Yeah, can you stick it in the feed? And I can't read it right now. I just had a couple of things on. I was listening to what you're saying, and what your quotes you were saying earlier on. And they're compelling.
Oh my God!
But I can't. I'm not looking. If you put it in the link, I'll have a look later on if that's all right.
All right. So which one do you what do you exactly want?
It's whatever you've got in the sense of that what you think is the meat on the bones at that site that got taken down, the entropy site. Obviously there must have been stuff on there that you thought was really significant that was lost because it was taken down. So I'd like to have a look at that. Or the URL. I can look on the Wayback Machine myself, if it's easy for you.
Let's try it. Let's try it right now because I did save the link right here. So let's try it.
I must apologize. I'm not being rude. I'm in transit.
You're fine. No, I didn't say you were being rude. You're okay. There it is. So I just popped it up on the screen on the present. Oh, you guys can't see it. It says not found. How can I get that? 1 second.
Okay.
1 second.
I'll catch you later.
Yeah, URL, right? You can post it in his DM.
Hold on a second. Here we go. You guys really can't see it either. That maybe you can.
Chat.
So I just hold on a second.
Don't scream at me.
So I'm not screaming at you. I said hold on a second.
Yeah,
so,
you are screaming.
entropiesite.oxy.edu right here up in the corner. You see not found. Error HTTP error 404. So I can post that in the chat if you want.
No, he wants the link.
Yes, I'm going to post the link in the chat.
And the citation that you want.
I can't post the citation in the chat. It won't work that way.
Oh, well, you can DM that to him. That could be the case.
Yeah, let me do it. Can I do it that way, Paz? Are you still here?
No, he's gone.
Ah.
That's what I'm saying. And you didn't. You overshot me. I said he's gone out of the chat. So.
Well, let me post it. Oh, let me get out of that. 1 second. That. Let me grab the whole thing because it's a whole convoluted nightmare because now I got 1, 2, 3, 4 citations, one with the entropy site, the 404 error. I got the web archive, which is good. And then I got the Journal of Chemical Education at Wisconsin EDU. I got a whole bunch of links here. So let me post this in Discord. Right? There's no way I could post it in the YouTube chat. It's too big.
Mm-hmm.
So how about all that?
Yeah, so if you want to come in to Discord, they can. Let me put the link in here.
Maybe I could search. Maybe I could search them out too, and then just DM them, like you said.
Sure. Yeah.
See, now that was productive right there, Betty. See, if we would have just blew them off, we wouldn't have had that intellectual exchange.
Wow, John, you surprised me from time to time. You do that all the time to me. If I say talk to him, then you want to, and you make a nice person of yourself, and then the other way around, right? If I say, well, talk to Rumpus, then it would be like totally different.
Hold on a second. The commander's here.
Yeah, I understand that.
Sounded a little combative in the beginning, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go.
Well, she's really the boss, is she?
Yeah. Yep. We can wrap it up. I mean, it was a good presentation. Like I said, the next presentation will be, we'll probably finish up Gravity. I have to take a look at it. We'll go specifically into Newton and Einstein, and so where all the contradictions are. I don't really have to. I just did. But we'll go ahead for completeness and do that. And then after that, we'll get into spectrochocoloscopy. That I got into a heavy discussion just last night about it. It's pretty lengthy debate. It was. We'll just do that presentation again too. Now, be aware that BALLBUSTERS this Saturday, we're going to go directly into the science presentation. So natural science.
Nice.
Yeah, we're gonna. I had many requests for that, so we're gonna roll with that. So okay. Anything else, Betty? Any final thoughts?
No, not really.
You have to have. All right.
Say like.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Like I said, folks, stay tuned this Saturday, and be careful out there. Watch the convoluted nonsense, and if you see any, just laugh out loud at it. All right. Hang in there. We'll catch you on the flip side. Out.